you're going to need one of these in there. God, I love Dunkin' coffee. It's the best coffee in the world. Not really. I just wish I was Ben Affleck. You're not Ben Affleck, and you never will be! Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I am Mike, and we are going to review the last footage of my week. The Last Voyage of the Demeter is directed by Andre Overdahl, who I like a lot. The Autopsy of Jane Doe is one of my favorite horror movies of that year, and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It was okay. It was fine. I'm rooting for the guy. I'm hoping the movie's good, even if I am tired to death of Dracula movies. There's an interesting mix of writers in the room. You got the dude who wrote Escape Room, which I was not a fan of at all, and Samaritan, which was, yeah, but then you got the dude who wrote Fear Street Part 2, which I liked a lot, and Bullet Train, which I didn't see. Put that together, and you've got the 17,298th adaptation of Dracula. Only this time, he's left-handed, so it's different. In all seriousness, it's based off The Captain's Log, which is a singular chapter from Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula. And the story is very, very simple. It's a bunch of folks trapped on a boat in the middle of the big, dark, scary ocean, and Dracula's on board. And much like my kids when we go on road trips, decides he doesn't want the $20 worth of goddamn snacks you brought. He wants to stop and get some new shit. Who am I kidding? I'm the one who wants to stop. I love gas station candy. It just makes me feel like a kid again. This movie didn't make me feel like a fucking kid again. So you would think that this movie would be the kind of plot that you could just jump right into and go and get the scares rolling, right? Oh, no. We got a 2-hour running time we gotta fill up here. So you're gonna watch them put every piece of luggage in that fucking boat. And I'm sorry, but as much as the cast is great and it's well acted, Corey Hawkins, Liam Cunningham, Davos from Game of Thrones, David Dastmalchian, who I love and is becoming a horror staple, Aisling Franciosi, whose name I just butchered, all great. Nothing wrong with the actors or their performances whatsoever, but these characters were written about as interesting as the fourth quarter in a preseason NFL football game. God, I'm excited football's back. There's a kid and a dog on the boat, which I spent 20 minutes of the movie just wondering where the dog pisses and shits. Where does a dog piss and shit on a boat? So obviously you root for the kid and the dog to survive, but other than that, you just, hey, that guy's nice. I guess I hope Dracula doesn't eat his face off. The movie waits until the third act to give any of its characters any sort of interesting character arc other than just survive. Other than Corey Hawkins' hippy-dippy shit about, I just want to learn how the world works so I can understand it. You know, if he survives, he's just going to end up in a sex cult. Fucking hippie. They wait until the shit hits the fan and actually gets interesting to actually try to shove these dramatic arcs in, and by then you're just like, man, I just want to watch Dracula fuck some shit up now. I've been staring at this goddamn boat for an hour and a half. And I like Captain Elliot, Liam Cunningham's character, but God, he is so stupid. He is more indecisive than my wife deciding what she wants to eat for lunch. We have the same 4 restaurants we've always had to choose from, Kate. Just pick one. He waits so long to make any decision that by the time he makes the decision, he's already butt-fucked anyway. It doesn't matter. He's the worst captain of all time. And then he just stands around and whines about it like, oh, no, we're in trouble. I hope God will see us through. The non-human characters of the Demeter are fucking awesome, however. The ocean is just a character in itself. It's big, it's scary, and whether it's calm or it's just doing these crazy ass storms with beautiful waves, or the sun's rising over the ocean burning vampires like that pizza you left in the oven when you came home drunk at 3 a.m. last night and passed out. The settings are amazing and it's absolutely beautiful. The ship in itself is beautiful and creepy, and I love the look of it, even if I got really tired of staring at it after a while. But the prize piece here is Dracula himself. This is old school Dracula. This is more Nosferatu type, not fully formed. It's not Gary Oldman walking around in George Washington's wig trying to fuck everything that moves. This is scary ass Dracula. He's so creepy, man. And I owe the movie an apology because when we did the trailer reviews and stuff for it, I talked about how, oh, this looks like some lazy CG that's just going to ruin the movie. And I was completely wrong. I saw a piece on Bloody Disgusting where they were talking to them about how this is mostly practical effects and the stunt work and shit that they were doing. And it gave me a whole new respect for it. And I got to say, there are times when it doesn't look great. Towards the end, when they show them a little bit too much, not too often, because trust me, they don't show them too often, but they show too much of them, leave them on screen to linger just a bit too long, and it doesn't look great. It still looks sort of like it's CG, whether it is or isn't. But there are certain moments in this where Dracula is as scary as you've ever seen him. There's just tiny little moments of this movie that are going to be some of the best horror scenes of the entire year. There were certain short little moments with Dracula that actually made my jaw drop, that freaked me out, that were so beautifully done and so scary. And he's got attitude too. The dude playing him, Javier Botet, is amazing. I'm sure I said that wrong. I apologize, but he's awesome. and creepy as hell. And he's got attitude to him. Like when he's going to kill somebody, he'll like smile at them and shit, or just like rub his hand across their face just to be a disrespectful asshole. Dracula is an 11 out of fucking 10, man. It is one of the best looking, feeling vampires I've ever seen on the screen. And he pops up about as often as a dolphin during a fucking boat tour. Like the kind that if you don't see a dolphin, you get the boat trip for free. So they just put a dude in a dolphin suit, like, oh, oh. But it's like playing peekaboo with the best part of the fucking movie, man. It's too sparingly on screen. And by the time it's gone again, you just kind of get sad. You're like, oh, it'll be another half an hour before you see him again. Fuck. And don't give me this whole, but he stays in the shadows. It's supposed to make you wait for your scares. It's supposed to be suspenseful. Yeah, not when the rest of the movie is not interesting whatsoever. That shit does not work for me. And also, make the movie an hour and 25 minutes if that's what we're going to do. If you have to bore me to tears to scare me for a moment, you're not doing your job right. And I'm just going to fucking say it. We've beaten the Dracula thing to death, haven't we? No pun intended. I get it. I love Michael Myers and Scream and Ghostface and all that, and I understand. But can we create some new fucking monsters already? I mean, for God's sakes, when one of those movies come out, there's at least a group of people going, oh God, let it die. The evil has to die. Have we no original ideas? But every time someone slaps old Frankenstein, Mummy, Dracula, or Wolfman out there, everybody gets all hippity-dippity about it. I'm like, this shit is tired as hell, Hollywood. We need to create new monsters. He drinks blood. He can't go out during the day. The sun burns him. We know everything there is to know. So we have to sit for 45 minutes and watch these characters learn this shit about him and be all freaked out by him while we're sitting there and we've known this shit. So it's not interesting to us. There's just nothing new to discover there. I did like the music, by the way, by Bear McCreary, even though it's like sort of fantastical and stuff and does its sweeping thing. And you know what? That's the thing. There's going to be people who like this movie better than I do, because I've never been a fan of like fantasy adventures and that, you know, the whimsical type shit. Like it's never been my thing. So there's going to be those aspects to this movie that people really enjoy. They're going to enjoy the camera sweeping through the city while that whimsical music plays and they're just happily like loading boats and shit. That this does not do it for me. It bores me to tears, but some people will enjoy that and probably get a little bit more enjoyment out of this movie than I did. But there's one part in the score by Bear McCreary, and I'm telling you, Scream fans, you'll notice it. It sounds just like Sidney's Lament from the original Scream, and it's awesome. So all in all, overall crafted a beautiful movie with teeny tiny moments that are going to be some of the best horror you see in the theater all year long, but it just disperses them far too sparingly to have any sort of lasting effect and actually worked as a cohesive film. Like I said, Dracula himself gets an 11 out of 10. You look fucking great, girl. Get it. So comment down below, guys. What did you guys think about this? And also, are you sick of these original monsters as well? Are you sick of vampires, or is it just me? I'm just ready for them to craft some new shit. You know what I mean? Who wants a mustache ride? I do. I do.
Hello, listener. Do you like scary movies? What's your favorite scary movie? Well, Jay and Mike like scary movies, too. You should go and subscribe to their podcast, We Watched a Movie. Because if you don't, I'll gut you like a... Well, I think you get the idea. Enjoy yourselves while you still can.